This is Lou White, and I'd like to introduce you to a book. If you haven't received it already, it's called Wormwood, and we're going to just talk about that for a few minutes and introduce some ideas that a lot of people are hearing on the internet. Yeah, what are they doing up there? They're pulling some kind of a tree down or something. Anyway, slow it down and read the cover, and it'll be pretty interesting. It'll give you some strange insights. Oh, what? Oh, ew. Okay. What? It's blue tape. Don't worry, it's not real. Anyway, I might have to keep that from happening again. But here's the thing about Wormwood. I've got a little thing I've been talking about, how they change his words and they make the truth come out twisted. And that's not right. NASA. Oh boy, what is that? Well, that's some kind of a space place, isn't it? Anyway, the thing with this, people on the internet are teaching other people that this word is a Hebrew word, and it's not even really a word, it's an acronym. NASA is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It's an acronym, and they're telling people that it's a word in Hebrew that can mean, well, it does mean deception, and it can mean that, but it has other meanings depending on the context. See, this is a kind of wormwood. It's twisting his words. If you change Yahuwah's words into some other intended meaning, then you're twisting them and turning them into wormwood. He says this. I'll read that scripture to you briefly here in just a minute. This is really a short video, don't worry. Poison teachings are spreading and being believed everywhere. Teachers are making stuff mean other stuff. You know, that's a type of syncretism. In the mouth of the disobedient, the truth comes out twisted. They teach error to confirm their own false beliefs, and other people fall right into it. Let me just read a little of this real quick here. NASA is being transformed into a word. It's an acronym, and the word is pronounced NASA. Well, the sound of this acronym, NASA, if you assume it to mean deceive in Hebrew, it's a hoax. It's a prank played on the ignorant and the people that can't help themselves. They can't find out the truth. Anyway, there are homonyms that can sound the same, and sometimes they can even be spelled the same in the same letters, but it has to first of all be a language that people speak. And if you're applying Egyptian or Greek or Latin in the language of that language group and applying the sound of a word you think you hear that isn't really in that context and saying that they're using it, that's a lie. The context of a word in Hebrew or any language depends on what it means in the sentence it's used in. A pitcher can be a container that holds water, or it can be a baseball player that throws baseballs, a pitcher. See, the word can sound and even be spelled the same. Now, by comparing the Hebrew word H5375, NASA, it's pronounced the same. It can mean to lift, to carry, or to take. Now, if you compare that same Hebrew word 5375 with 5378, Nasha, it can mean a debt or a usury or deceive or deception or beguile. Well, which word is being used in what context? Anyway, it's obvious that this phonetic language trick is coming from men's imaginations, and it's a waste of time. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration abbreviation is not even a word. It's certainly not a Hebrew word. It's an acronym. Now we have to overcome these strongholds, these false reasonings. And what's most important is to not spread the mess any further by just believing everything. We need to look into what we hear. Proverbs 14, verse 15 says this: the simple believes every word, but the clever one watches his steps. See, only fierce wolves would twist Yahuwah's words into wormwood, and people will perish when they accept error in the place of truth. Speaking of wormwood, Let's read Amos 6, verse 12, which says, "Do horses run on a rock? Does one plow it with oxen? For you have turned integrity into poison, and the fruit of obedience into wormwood." And Habakkuk 1 verse 4 explains why. "Therefore the Torah ceases, and integrity never goes forth. For the disobedient hem in the obedient, so that truth comes out twisted." So don't believe everything that you hear. Test it and check it out. Thanks for watching this, and we'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.